Oh my gosh, I love that. McKenzie does such a good job. I'm like, I want to go. Well, I love seeing you again, Kalina. This is my favorite person in the world, Kalina from Silversea's Cruise Line. And I always say this, but honestly, what I love about my business is relationships, because we get to know you, we get to become friends, and we get to have relationships, and we get to ask questions. And so when I was looking at, hey, where would I want to cruise? Like, I try to look at, where do I want to cruise? And one of my favorite places in the world happens to be Tahiti. People know that. I've been lucky enough to go there 4 times. Wow. And so I said, hey, let's go do this. And so I know there's a couple other cruise lines that go around there. And I went and looked on there, and lo and behold, Silverseas, which doesn't happen all the time, is doing one of their little drive-bys and is going there. And I was like, whoa, wait, we need to put together a group. We need to get this ready. And what's amazing is you guys are at the ideal time. When anyone looks at pricing for Tahiti, high season is September and October. It's the driest time of year, and it's the most expensive when you look at it. And so, so I told my husband, I go, hey, you want to go to Tahiti? He goes, yeah, it's our anniversary in October. Of course we want to go.
I love it.
I know. So we're like, hey, we want to go there. So I wanted to remind people and tell them a little bit more about Silverseas, and then tell them about this cruise, introduce you again, and get people excited about it. And what's great is it's October of 26. So you can put down a deposit, you can make monthly payments, you can hold your money, invest it, woohoo, if you're that good, and then pay it all off when final payment comes around.
Exactly.
But yeah, so why don't you share a little bit about you and about your cruise, and how long have you been with Silverseas? Remind me.
3 years, but with Royal Caribbean Group, I've been 11.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, I started when I was 10, Susan.
I always say that. I'm like, I just celebrated 30 years. I'm like, I started when I was 12.
I've been with the Royal Caribbean Group 11 years. And, I started freshly out of college. My mom said, okay, you're done. What is it that you want to do with your life? And I went to school for broadcast journalism. And I didn't really see myself, right? I didn't really see myself. I just needed to pick a major. But I didn't really see myself being a broadcast journalist. So, I just started looking, and back then, right, it wasn't so long ago, but back then we used to have job fairs, and this job fair in my college, right?
Enterprise rental car.
Yes. So this job fair came to my college, and they had different booths, and Royal Caribbean was one of them. And they said, we need people to make reservations. We need people to help us with our travel advisors. I said, absolutely, sign me up. I love cruising. My first cruise was in 2005 on board the Majesty of the Seas.
Oh,
yes. That
Majesty used to be on the West Coast. We used to be out here on the West Coast, out of LA.
Yes, I took it out of Miami 3 days, and this was before Coco Cay had private beaches, had the tram. So this was a while. We had to go into Coco Cay on a tender, I remember. So I started working in Royal Caribbean, and it just started growing from there. And when Silversea was brought onto the group, I said, there's something really special about this brand. For years, Royal Caribbean hadn't brought up a brand before until it was Celebrity. Celebrity was brought on, I think, in the 80s. So it's been years that a brand was brought on. So I started researching about Silversea, and I just fell in love with the product. I fell in love with everything that we stand for. And I just love our ships, love our travel advisors, of course, and of course the guests that sail with us.
I agree. I think you got a really good, I think I heard from Joe, the VP of sales, or I should really know his title, but he said that you guys have the most luxury ships out there.
We do. We really do. And Silversea is all about catching the experiences, right? To finding more experiences, especially, if it's with your family or with friends or with your loved ones. It's to catch those special experiences that we have on board of our ships. And I think a cruise vacation is something it's something for everybody, because I am more of a, spa girly. I'm more of a relax, drinking my champagne. But what I love about Silversea, and especially Tahiti, that it mixes the best of both worlds, right? So you could be snorkeling with the turtles, and you can be watching pearl making classes, and you can do all of this, but then on board, you have all this luxury experience. And I just
Totally.
quick video, Susan, if that's okay.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That
About
helps to understand
Silversea
what makes you guys different.
What makes us different.
Yeah.
Here's to the moment.
Oh yeah. Let's be there.
Oh.
To ever-changing landscapes.
Oh, the booty.
Look at that wine. Look at that pasta.
Oh, amazing. Although I always laugh, no one's fighting. There's no arguments between husband and wife.
Everybody's so happy on board Silversea.
No, they all look so clean and their hair is brushed and they're like, I'm so happy with you. No one's like, I told you not to talk to her. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I love that. And there's some really, really nice snippets on, where I'm from. I was actually born in Cartagena. So when I saw this video for the first time, I said, oh my gosh, that is my city. I was born there and I loved it. And it's so beautiful and it's so full of color and life. And I was just so happy when I saw it there. I was like,
I love that. I love Cartagena. I got to go there. So I did. I started a cruise there. I love that. And I think that is so true, is that one of the things about, you said earlier about with Tahiti, is going to Tahiti is relaxing and beautiful and stuff like that. And like we probably will add maybe some days on the end and maybe do an overwater bungalow because some people are like, hey, I want to do that.
Yes, please take me.
Yeah, but Tahiti can be very pricey, right? And partly because there's no all-inclusives except for the Brando, which I love that. If you want to go to the Brando, you can always give me a call. But it's very, very pricey. And so to go on a cruise, the advantages of having your food, your drink, your activities, all these things included, and then you get to come back to a ship and get treated like royalty at night and get to watch the sunset from a balcony. And I said this to you earlier. One of my favorite things about you guys compared to some of the other alternatives that you have in this region is you get a balcony. And for me, some people are like, oh, I don't care. I just want to get on a ship. Or I don't. And I'm like, oh, no. The water in Tahiti is so beautiful. You want to sit on your balcony. I love every morning I get out, I get a cup of coffee. I sit out there. I sit on my balcony in my robe or in my pajamas. And I love to look at the water. And some of the other ships don't have them, or they only have them in like the sweet rooms. Well, there's only a couple of those. And so to be able to have that experience, be able to order that room service and be able to bring or go get coffee and come back to your room and have that, priceless.
That's my favorite thing about Silversea, is just the best of both worlds, right? So as Susan mentioned, my name is Talina Vergara. I'm actually based in sunny Miami, Florida, but I am a business development manager, but I cover the entire West Coast of the United States and Canada. So I have a pretty cool gig here at Silversea. And, as Susan mentioned, I think our brand is something so special, and each brand has sort of like their pillars on what they stand on and the hallmarks of our brand. And with Silversea, what are we here? We're here to take you to deeper explorations on intimate vessels. Our ships range. The largest ship that I have right now is 728 passengers. And it's funny, my sister brand, Royal Caribbean, has the beautiful icon of the seas that I see, sailing out of Miami every week. 10 of my largest ships can fit on Icon of the Seas. 10.
Crazy.
10. Right? Like,
that's amazing. 10 ships. Woo! Yeah.
It's insane.
And yet, I'll say this because I love this size. There's still so much packed into those ships. So some people are like, well, there's nothing to do. No, there's plenty to do. But the older I get, I love kids.
To do. There's so much plenty to do on our ship.
Yeah.
It's funny because I find myself, I see the ship on Saturdays, and sometimes, I go up and down the causeway and I see the ship and I am amazed at the size. And I think 7,200 people are on this ship. 728 can fit on my largest ship.
Right.
That's, it's insane, the ratio.
Yeah.
But yes, that's what I love about Silversea. It's the intimate ships. It's unique destinations across all 7 continents. So we sail more than any other luxury line, including the Arctic, Antarctica, Galapagos, Mediterranean, Asia, South Pacific, of course, Africa, and remote islands as well. So we have superior service. As Susan said, our service on board the ships are absolutely amazing. Our team, we have something called here in the office the Silversea Way. And I think our onboard teams really, really, they live the Silversea Way when they're on board the ship, because we want our guests to feel like they're the only ones on the ship. We have that 1-to-1 guest to staff ratio, and we want to make sure that our guests feel like they're the only ones on the ship. Expanded, exceptional cold cuisine on board. We have a lot of different chefs on board that come from all over the world, and they will bring you delicious food. I know when I sailed on the Silver Dawn last year, my favorite food is Indian food. I love Indian food.
That's
and
amazing.
I was talking to one of the chefs, and he actually brought a bowl during dinner. I have no idea to this day how he knew where I was having dinner, because I changed every single night. I kid you not. And he brought me a bowl of chana masala with pampandam, freshly made. It was amazing. An immersive enrichment. We have here at Silversea, we take you so close into the destination. I feel like with that, our slogan is Silversea takes you so far off the beaten path that there is no path. We make our own path.
I love that. Do you find that, I know it tends to be a demographic of older, maybe 55 plus, but do you find that there are sometimes families that go?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I was just talking to Susan not too long ago. I was just telling you, I was in Vancouver doing a ship tour, and we had a ton of families on board. We had kids on board. We have a lot of families, especially a lot of the young adult families. They have kids that are in their teens that love traveling, that love these destinations. A lot of in Alaska, like Galapagos, the South Pacific. Those are big family oriented regions that we focus as well. Alaska, Galapagos, South Pacific, those are my top 3 on families on board.
Sorry, I got a dog that's knocking on my door.
Yeah.
I could see that. And you don't have a kids program, right? There's no kids program.
We don't have a kids program.
Totally fine,
not all the time. If for example, if our team sees that, okay, there's 200 guests on this ship and we have 25 kids, and we do have some sort of kids program that we do. And so we do have that.
And we saw some multi-gen families, like, grandma and grandpa want to take everyone, and we'll see some people that'll come.
Oh my goodness. I think you had a family recently come on board too.
We had that.
It's a multi-gen family, grandma and grandpa that wants to bring everybody, celebrate a birthday, celebrate a milestone, 50th wedding anniversary. I have tons of that, with Silversea. That's what we see a lot, especially in these destinations, South Pacific, Alaska, and the Galapagos. That's what we see.
I love that.
Yeah. So our team on board, they're experts, right? Our immersive enrichment, they're experts. We have lectures on board. We have cultural performances, fine art, wine tasting. So we really take you into the destination. And where do we go, right? Silversea goes to all 7 continents. We touch them all.
Amazing.
Yeah, all 7 continents. And there's one continent, there's one area that we really want to focus on, and it's the South Pacific here. But that's something new that Silversea launched about 2 years ago. Yeah. And our guests absolutely loved it, because we hadn't gone to the South Pacific in years. Right. So we try to revisit this. We have an amazing team, our expedition leaders here shoreside on our offices, that really look, okay, where hasn't Silversea gone? What area hasn't been touched? Yeah. Where can we go to make our guests, the destination better? And we looked at the South Pacific. There's not a lot of people that go there, and there's not a lot of luxury brands that go there, right? So we thought about it, and we said the South Pacific is the way to go. So we go to all these unique destinations, and how do we get there, right? We have a beautiful fleet of ships. We have 12 ships right now. My newest are the Nova and the Ray. So the Nova right now is doing Alaska, and the Ray is doing Mediterranean. The Nova will then go to Japan and do some Asia. So we have a beautiful array of ships. You can see that my largest ship is 364 suites, it's about 728 guests. My smallest is about 100 people. 50 suites, that's the Silver Origin. She was purposely built. And what I love about Silversea is that each ship has a destination, right? Each ship is built specifically for that destination, and we only go when it's the absolute best. So I
Love
have some expedition ships. These are my ships that will be doing Antarctic, the Arctic. They will be doing the polar regions because they are ice class ships. And then I have my other classic ships that are all over the world. And I think there's a beaut, to be completely honest with you, but I'm a little biased, right?
Hey, you're loud. You're loud. We all like our own kids better.
I'm a tiny bit biased, right? But how can I choose my favorite? They're like all my children. It's like telling you, Susan, like pick your favorite child, right? You can't do that. They're all my children here, so they're an absolute beauty, and I love the product and the way that we, we'll have the ships decorated. It's again that luxury experience because you can be out there climbing, you can be climbing mountains, you could be climbing, but when you get on board to a beautiful ship, we welcome you, with a nice glass of champagne and a cold towel to get, to welcome you on board. It's just absolutely amazing. So we really want to focus on French Polynesia. So so as you can see, this is where French Polynesia is located, and it's actually a triangle formed by Hawaii, New Zealand, and Easter Island. So it's if you see Hawaii there, Easter Island, New Zealand, it's right smack in the middle, right?
Yep.
So it's a vast, and it covers almost the size of the European continent. Surprise! I had no idea.
I did not know that.
It was so when I didn't know that either, and that's so amazing what Silversea does. And when we launched French Polynesia, I just fell in love with it because it was so unique and where it's at. That I started researching more, and I came up with, and this is what my research shows, that it covers almost the size of the European continent. I was completely surprised.
I knew it had all these islands, but I didn't realize how large it was. But some of those islands are really, really difficult to get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed.
Places and stuff like that. That's amazing.
So it spans about 6 million square miles of open ocean and islands. Yeah, so it's really, really cool. And I'm going to show you how it's separated in the next slide. Here we go. Can you guys see? There we go. Okay, so it's really separated by 3 different islands, the Marquesa Islands. Yes, and it's like different archipelagos that are how it's separated. So this is the home of one of the most spectacular tropical archipelagos. It's home to 118 islands, right? So it's 5 archipelagos. Silversea visits 3 of them. So the Society Islands, the Marquesa Islands, and the Tamu. And forgive my my pronunciation.
I'm always like,
so this is the top 3 that Silversea, because those other 2, as Susan said, they're very hard to get to, and safety is number 1 priority for our guests. So it's absolutely spectacular. For example, the Society Islands. Look how beautiful. It's a group of 9 islands. It's mostly volcanic islands, and it offers lush landscapes and turquoise waters. Look at that. Incredible coral reefs. And there's a population, it's surprisingly, of about 230,000 people on this island. On these islands. Look at that. Look at that beauty.
It's prettier than you think, even when you get there. You just look at it and you go, oh. And here's what's nice too about Tahiti in this area is it's an 8-hour flight from LAX. People think it's farther, and it's on the same time zone as Hawaii. So it's 3 hours west of LA. And so it's not quite as far as they think. And so the Air Tahiti Nui is an amazing airline. There is Air France, there is French Bee, but if you're going to fly the best airline, you're going to fly Air Tahiti Nui, and they do a great job. They typically do 2 types of either an overnight flight or a day flight that arrives at night, and then you spend the night there. But it's really not a bad flight there. But I mean, it is more beautiful when you get there than you realize. And that's why a cruise is so great, because a lot of times people will call us and go, well, I want to go to Tahiti, and I saw that photo of Bora Bora, and I want to go to Bora Bora. And I'm like, Bora Bora is so beautiful.
Absolutely.
You do not want to miss Moorea. You do not want to miss Huahine. You do not want to miss, Taha and Raiatea. And they're like, no, I want to go to Bora Bora.
No, there's so many other islands.
And you sit there and I'm like, I get it, but you really will want to see all those. And that's why I'm like, maybe you do the cruise and add this, or the cruise is the tease for when you go back and you see it again, but you could add some nights in an overwater bungalow.
And what I love about it, I love about cruising, is that Silversea will take you to all of these destinations, right? And I don't even think, Susan, the pictures do it justice. Like these pictures don't even do it justice on how beautiful the landscape is and how beautiful it really is. And I love how, you know, one day we could be here in the Society Islands, and then the next we could be in the Marquesas Islands. So this is one of the most remote
I have not been
in
to
the
these.
world.
I know. I've not been there. Yeah.
So Silversea will take you there. That's what I love about Silversea.
I know. Everyone says it's amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. When I was putting together these PowerPoints, I'm just thinking to myself, oh my goodness, how do I see myself, you know, sailing with Susan and, you know, waking up in the morning, opening up my balcony and seeing these beautiful turquoise waters ready for me to jump.
I know.
Right?
See the Marquesas, like a lot of people, there's not a lot of great ships that go out there that are nice. Mm-hmm. They have their, like you said, they have their own time zone. Like this is like, people say it's like going back to Lost. It's like a step back. And it is adventure. And it is for people who have seen Tahiti and want to see another set of islands and stuff. It is unbelievable, but it's really difficult to get to. And so the way to get there is on a cruise. Well, let's go on a great cruise. Let's not go on, you know, a half cruise or anything like that. So this is a great way to do it.
And what I love about this is it's very boast and rugged landscapes that you'll see. You know, you have towering volcanic peaks, and you feel, you know, it's kind of like that show Lost, right? That you referenced. You feel like you're there. And what Silversea does, it's that, you know, we have cultural leaders on board, and we have, you know, people that have studied these islands, and they'll tell you, okay, the last time that volcano erupted was in 1964, and because of the tectonic plates, they will, you know, they have that knowledge on board, and that's what I love about it. And I think waking up to this, imagine opening up your balcony, being on, you know, on the lower right-hand screen, that's where our ships will be docked, you know, so close to the destination that you could practically just swim to shore. Just open up your balcony and imagine you see this lush green landscape and this volcano, you know, this beautiful volcanic peaks. So I think that's what I love about Silversea, that every day you wake up, you're somewhere else.
I love that. That's amazing.
And, you know, we go to one more area, which is the Islands. Yes.
I went to Ringaroa.
It's considered to be the hidden paradise of all of Tahiti. So these are actually formed by like a string of like atolls that are spread over 850,000 square miles. So about more than 2 million kilometers. So these are sandboards. So look at the sand, right? So you can view coral reefs. This is ideal for coral reefs. So if you want to do some snorkeling and look at coral reef, this is where you will do it.
Yeah, and scuba diving. My husband said the scuba diving outside like the best scuba diving he did in Tahiti was in Ringaroa. And we stayed there at a hotel, right? And he's like, how do we get back there? And I'm like, oh, you got to fly, you go there.
I just want to stay there.
I mean, but it's just unbelievably untouched. And it's not crowded. And that's why it is so beautiful. Yeah.
It's so beautiful. So this is like a hidden paradise. Mm-hmm. And our team's on board, Susan. Like we have a great team of, you know, we do when we do all of our itineraries, they actually scout these destinations because we want to give our guests the best possible destination. You know, if you're going to go to Tahiti, we're going to take you to Tahiti. You know, we are going to make sure that you see everything, especially these. I know when I first was looking at these, I'm like, wow. And I was researching these islands, and this is something that is not really touched, right? These are islands that are so remote. This is where Silversea will take you. Like I said earlier, Silversea will take you so far off the beaten path. There is no path. And these islands right here are optimal for any sort of water-based activities.
Exactly.
Snorkeling, if you want to see coral reefs, this is absolutely where you want to go. This remote archipelago offers a unique and unforgettable experience, to be completely honest with you. Look at these picturesque lagoons, the coral reefs that you'll see, the vibrant marine life, making it a perfect destination if you have your certificate for diving, snorkeling, any other water-based activity. This will be where you will go.
Yeah, totally. It's amazing. It is. It's one of the prettiest places in the world for that reason. And I think it's, I also stress that there are some people that go, we did one day where we didn't even get off the ship. We just hung out on the ship, enjoyed the ship when we were on a different cruise line, and enjoyed the beauty and the water and the air and all that kind of stuff. Because it's just a beautiful place to be. And we were like, you know what, we don't need to go do an activity, but you can. But I mean, the nice thing is with Silverseas, a lot of times what happens is people feel like they get nickeled and dimed, and then they start feeling like they're spending this money. And then we start saying, oh, and here's all these extra things you're going to have to pay for. You're going to have to do this and this and this. And what's great about what you guys offer in these islands is you really could really add very little above and beyond. Now, some of these top end, like scuba diving and stuff, are going to be an added, but you guys have had a discount. But you're going to be able to go do a bike tour or a snorkeling trip or these wonderful activities on these islands, and they're included in everything. I can't book a trip for 7 days for the price that this cruise is right now. And so that's what blows me away, is because you end up, and you got to understand, it's called the French Polynesia. And so it is a French colony. It is beautiful, but it is expensive, and the food is expensive, and the pricing and stuff like that. And so that's the number one complaint, I would say, out of all the years that we've sold it, that people have come back and said, wow, I spent a lot of money. It's probably a little bit, probably about 15% more than you're going to spend when you go to Hawaii for the food and drink and activities. Well, now you start adding that up, and now you start going, well, wait a minute, I'm going to get all that included on my Silverseas cruise. Maybe the only thing I'm going to pay for is maybe lunch if I'm off the ship, but maybe not. That's amazing, and that's less than what people are paying.
One thing I will tell you and tell everybody watching, one thing Silversea loves to do is surprise and delight. So there could be, while you're in an island and you're snorkeling, our teams could be in another part of the island setting up a beach picnic. That's the good thing about Silversea and sailing with a ship so small, right? That our teams can go off, set up a beach picnic. They could do that while you're snorkeling. So that's one thing our team loves to do, is surprise and delight. So when I actually this year, because all of the success that we've had from our previous Tahiti cruises, and they've gone like hotcakes.
Oh, I bet.
To be honest with you, you've actually expanded. So instead of doing it from March to August, we're actually doing it till October now. So it's that's
so much better, because that's the best time of year.
That's the best time of year, just because of the success that we've had previously. Last year, I believe there was only, when I was doing the math, there was only 4 suites that went empty all season.
Wow.
It was insane. We sold French Polynesia like hotcakes, because when Silversea went there, they're like, oh my gosh, there's another brand that goes there, and it's a luxury brand. So French Polynesia is an all year round destination. I believe the average temperature, Susan, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 80 degrees. So sunny, pleasant days all year round. So it's kind of like another day living in Miami, right?
It is. The difference is going to be whether or not it's wet or dry. Right. And it's not really dry, because it's an island destination, but that's why you get December and January is going to be your wettest, the end of November. And then the spring is going to be a little bit wet. And then the summer up until October is your high end and most expensive, driest part of the season. And so when we got this opportunity to go, wait a minute, we got October. This is a great time of year. Now, of course, my joke always is, when you travel, the weather doesn't care that you spend a lot of money on vacation. So, but when it rains, I went there in December once, and I mean, it poured one day. That's very unusual any other time of year. Most of the time, it's only going to rain for like 10 minutes, and then it's going to go away.
Here, like in South Florida, I look outside and it's really cloudy. It rains for 5 minutes, and then I look outside and it's blaring sun. I'm like, oh my goodness, where did the sun come from? And earlier you said about flights, Susan, and I really want to emphasize on that. So if you look at the map, right, if you're flying from Europe, it's actually much faster getting down to Antarctica. If you're flying from Europe, look, it's only about 9 hours coming from the west coast of the U.S. It's very, very close. And if you want to extend your trip, and for me, one of the continents that I'm missing is actually Australia.
I'm
missing 2. But for me, I think to myself, I live all the way in Florida. To get down to Australia, golly, that's like 20 something hours, almost 24 hours, maybe 28, depending on where I make my layover. But if I go to French Polynesia, like it's halfway, I do a beautiful Silversea cruise and then just hop over 5 hours or 6 hours, I'm already in Australia.
That's so true. Yeah. I know there's a nonstop into Auckland because I know that they have that. I don't know about Australia, but that's such a good point. You totally could do that if you wanted. And there are some of the cruises, not the one we're on, but there are some that go farther and stuff like that hit maybe Fiji or
yes,
the islands and
some
stuff
cruises.
Like
so the days range from 7 days and they could go up to 33 days. If you have the time, you can absolutely do that. You can take Susan and I. We will not complain.
I wouldn't have trouble with that. I'll stay.
I will not have any trouble doing that. 33 days. I'm more than happy to do it.
Exactly. No, that's great.
So most of our voyages, they do Papeete round trip, right? So we'll leave Papeete and we'll go around the islands. So it's a very easy access from Los Angeles, Seattle, those major US gates. It's very easy access and it's nonstop. Like Susan said, it's a nonstop flight, very easy. And you can fly into Papeete, hop on a beautiful Silversea cruise, and then fly back. So it's very, very simple to get there. And if you're coming from Europe, we do that too. If you have a brief layover in Los Angeles, it's actually faster than flying to the Galapagos from Europe if going to French Polynesia.
Well, it is. Those unique places are more difficult to get to.
Yep, it's actually much faster. So if you're living abroad, if you're living in Barcelona, you want to do a quick layover in Los Angeles for a day and then hop up another flight, you could do that. It's actually much faster. I believe when I was doing my notes for this PowerPoint, I kind of did a flight from Barcelona to Quito, and it actually took 23 hours. So yes. So it's actually fast.
Well, what's nice too, now I know you're on the East Coast, but when you're on the West Coast, 3 hours is not horrendous to adjust on your time, which is nice. When you are, 6 hours is enough, but not horrendous. Like I said, when people are traveling to Tahiti or when they're traveling to Hawaii, which is different than when they're going, much, much farther. And so when you get there, it's not, most of the time we have clients when they're doing the cruise, we have them do that 4:50 p.m. flight out of LA. So they're around 9 o'clock at night. We have them stay at a hotel in Papeete. That's the capital of Tahiti. That's where the ship is going to be docked. You arrive at night and then you get on the ship the next morning. If you're going to do an overwater bungalow, we usually do have you guys do that on the end of the trip, usually 3 nights on the end. And then you can easily fly back. The flight back is an overnight flight, always on the way back, unless you're doing Air France. But you don't want to do that because you got to come back and spend the night because the flight's at 7 a.m. So you kind of have to understand your flight.
3-day post bungalow, I think that's a great addition to your trip, Susan, that 3-night post. That, just to stay in a location and kind of just relax and do some dinners with a small group. Absolutely. That would be really, really neat. So I really recommend that.
Yeah, a lot of people really like to do that. They've always wanted to stay in one. And so you can do it in Moorea. You can do it in Bora Bora. The Bora Bora flight's about 45 minutes away from there. The Moorea, you can fly. It's 8 minutes, or you can take a ferry. You can see it from Tahiti. But both of them are really, really easy to add on to. We're far enough out right now that obviously airfare is not part of it. We aren't going to be able to add air until about December of this year. But we can give you ideas of what the pricing is on the idea of like, okay, what does it cost on economy? There's premium economy, and then there's business class. We have a gauge of what it has been for the last 7 to 8 years around that. And then they are partners with American and Alaska Air. So you can also co-share with them if you guys want to use miles. But yeah,
it took me, I live in Florida, to go to Vancouver just because it took me so long because of the wind. And it took me so long to get there. And I'm thinking to myself as well, putting this PowerPoint together, golly, another hour on the plane, I would have been in French Polynesia. To be completely honest.
I love me some Vancouver, but I was going to pick between the two.
It took so long from Florida to Vancouver.
I know.
I'm like, another hour I could have been in French Polynesia. So I want to show you some of the itineraries that we do.
Yep.
So These are just sample itineraries that we do. So we'll do.
And that's what we're doing, the Society Islands. Yep.
This is a Society Island. So if you have a little bit longer of time, we do do a 14-day Papieta
That's amazing. I would love to do that one. Yep.
Same, right?
Yep.
So that's something that we do. We have two different options. These are just two sample itineraries that we do. The Society Islands, which I've showed you pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous. Moorea, Raiatea, so Bora Bora, of course, that's number one. That's something that we do. So these are just some sample itineraries. And I really want to touch quickly on our fare options with Silversea. So we want to be known as the luxury of choice, right? So we have three unique fare options that we have. Of course, our most popular is our door-to-door inclusive fare.
Yeah.
So our door-to-door inclusive fare that, it includes everything from the beginning to the end. So we'll pick you up in a private executive town car. We'll include the international economy air. We do have upgrades to business class. If the voyage needs it, we include a one-night pre. You have an all-inclusive cruise on board, and then the same thing in reverse. If you are like me, I like to have autonomy of my flights. I like to know where I'm flying. I am a Delta girly through and through. I love Delta.
Yes, I'm an American. I get it. You gotta pick your city, right? I'm surprised being in Miami, you're not American.
I love Delta. I love the customer service of Delta.
Oh, Delta's so much better.
I'm a Delta girly through.
We only have 2 gates here, so you can't. If you're going to pick Delta, you're not going anywhere. So
I love Delta. Delta through and through. Sometimes, yes, I do have to fly American. Any Delta partner, I love Delta. But if you want to have autonomy of your own flights, like me, I need to know exactly where I'm seated, what time I'm leaving. I need to know. I'm very picky about the connecting airports because I've connected through Dallas Fort Worth. I got lost at the airport.
It's complicated with their trains. I get it. Yeah,
so complicated with the trains. So I like to have autonomy where I'm connecting, right? So that's what we have our port to port fare. So everything on board will still be all inclusive. And again, we include food and beverage. We include Wi-Fi. We include gratuities. All of the activities that you do are included, right? All of the activities that you do are absolutely included. Now, we do have a new fare that launched earlier this year. This is for, if you want to do a last minute getaway, it doesn't have to be Tahiti, but if you say, hey, Susan, I want to do your Tahiti cruise, but hey, there's a last minute Alaska that I want to do. So I can try Silversea. Absolutely. We have our essential fare. These are only for about 5 months prior to sailing. No short
excursions included on those. I would say 90% of the people that we book, we do port to port.
Yes, you do.
You want to get the benefits of the things that you're going to get with the shore excursion options and stuff like that. But we have had some people, especially with Alaska, go and do the essential fare. Because it helps people also get into a luxury class when they're like, hey, I've always sailed on Royal Caribbean. We want to try the luxury class. We're nervous about the price. It's a little bit of a difference. And I'm like, hey, try it here and then see what you think. And then, of course, they become Silversea's people and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going to do this for life.
Susan, it's funny that you say that because when I introduced a lot of people to the essential fare, but at the end of the cruise, they always go to Lena, I'd rather just go with the port to port because once you start adding the excursions that you want to book, it's the same cost as the port to port. But this is something, if you want to get your foot into luxury, this is something that I recommend, because the price up front, it's less. But if you really compare, at the end of any cruise, if you've done Royal Caribbean, if you've done Celebrity, if you've done any other cruise and any premium line, at the end of the day, if you compare apples to, Silversea, the price is pretty much the same once you're done adding your beverage package, because I cannot go on a cruise without a beverage package. I just got off one, added my beverage package for sure.
Yeah.
I want to do excursions. I always feel safer doing the excursions that the cruise ship, because if something should happen, if there's a flat tire or something, that cruise ship is not going to leave without me. I know that for sure.
Right.
Or I know the cruise ship is going to take me to the next destination. So that's one thing that I always recommend. And of course, it's up to the guest. But just if you compare it, it's pretty much priced the same. So that's something that I would if essential, something if you want to dip your toe into luxury, I would really do.
Yeah. But if you're going to go, and I'll tell you, when we look at the port to port price, this goes back to what I said earlier, and you compare that to the land trips that I do for Tahiti, and you take the port to port cruise of a cruise that includes your food, your drinks, your tips, your your per port, everyone gets in a shore excursion. You're beating the price that I'm getting on these land trips for a 7-day trip. And so that's the advantage of, hey, this is an opportunity for you to try a luxury cruise. And I have a lot of people that go, oh, I'm not a cruiser. I'm not a cruiser. I go, okay, you haven't tried a luxury cruise line. And if you want to try one in Tahiti. You're going to be blown away. I get it. There are some areas where we're like, hey, I just did Alaska and we did a cruise for a week and we did land for a week. There are places where you do this, but Tahiti is a great opportunity for you to go see all these islands. You don't have to repack. You don't have to go check in. You don't have to wait around. You get to go see all of this, and you get all the services that you guys offer. So I'm so excited. I mean, I really wish it was almost this year, but
you know what? I looked at my calendar the other day. I said, oh my gosh, is it really July 25th?
I can't believe it.
And the one thing that all fairs include is just the onboard team. I mentioned the Silversea way, and we are really different. We want to bring you to deeper discovery without compromising your comfort. That's one thing that I love about Silversea. That Susan and I before we went live, we were just talking about how Silversea does the luxury component on board. And, you could be climbing, you have muddy boots. And that happened to me. I was in Puerto Rico on a Caribbean cruise, and I decided to do a climb. What possessed me to do that? I have no earthly clue. But it was one of the short excursions. I said, hey, I always do the same excursion, the tour around the city center. I want to do something crazy. I did a climb, and my sneakers were soaking wet and they were dirty because it was a rainforest climb, right? Yeah. I was climbing in Puerto Rico in San Juan. I got back to my suite. Oh my gosh, I'm cutting it for dinner. I had made reservations, so I'm rushing, I have my curling iron over here. One of my eyelashes is on the other side. And when I came back to my suite, I kid you not, my shoes were cleaned.
Wow.
All of my hair tools were put in order. My makeup was put in order. So that's something that Silversea does. Our staff offers personalized service and attention for that all-inclusive treatment, right? We have that personalized service. There's a butler in every single suite. So when you're in Tahiti, you'll have your butler. We have for every one guest, there's one staff member, and they're very welcoming. They're anticipatory. So it's funny. On another cruise that I just got off on in October, I did Northern Europe from Copenhagen all the way down to Lisbon. It was absolutely gorgeous. We had an overnight in Bordeaux. I had a ton of wine. Every evening or every evening, yes, my butler would, make up our room, and he would always have warm nuts because I love trail mix. But I'm weird. I only like cashews. I only like cashews. So I only picked out the cashews. So one evening I come back and I look at my bowl and I said, that's not mixed nuts, that's cashews. So I asked the butler, I said, hey, what happened to the mixed nuts? And he said, oh, Miss Talina, I noticed that you were only eating the cashews, so I brought you a bowl of cashews. Awesome. And in my mind, I thought I was eating everything.
That's awesome.
Right. So he brought me a bowl of cashews. Because I asked him, they were warm, mixed truffle nuts. Amazing. Ask your butler. They're available on all Silversea ships, right? They're warm nuts. So absolutely gorgeous. So that's what our team does. So just imagine yourself, you're snorkeling in Tahiti, and you come on board this ship and you're welcomed by a cold glass of champagne. So you're out there working with beautiful canapes, beautiful caviar, delicious caviar, all sustainable, of course. So, and you're welcomed with that. So you're out there, you're being rugged, you're out, you're kayaking, you might be snorkeling, you might be climbing, volcanoes. But when you come on board, you have that personalized experience. Yeah. What do our suites feature? Right? We have ocean view, most offering private verandas. We have some suites that have windows and a floor to ceiling window, but it's all ocean view facing. Everything is ocean view facing. We don't have any interior rooms. We have a bedroom and a separate sitting area. So your butler can come in that sitting area with the couch, and it'll have a nice little coffee table. Your butler can actually expand that, put a beautiful tablecloth, and set up dinner for you in your suite. A premium mattress and fine bed linens. And Susan is a witness to this. When you sleep on a Silversea bed, you never want to go back. And I treated myself to a nice mattress.
Yeah.
It's the same as a Silversea ship,
That's so funny. Yeah.
We have a walk-in wardrobe, unlimited Wi-Fi. So you can stay in touch with your loved ones while and you can post pictures. You can say, hey, look where I'm at here in Tahiti while you're working.
There you go.
Refrigerator with bar setup. So your butler will come meet you the first day, ask you what is your, preferences. I always say Coke Zero and sparkling water. Those are my weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yes, Coke Zero, you bath amenities, you have different choices. A pillow menu, you guys, a pillow menu. Your butler will come show you the different offerings of pillows. So if you like a little firmer, if you like a little softer, umbrella, hair dryer, telephones, interactive media libraries, everything. And everything is available for you to use regardless of what ship you book, what itinerary. This is standard on all of our suites.
I love it.
In addition, we are doing a promotion. So we have up to $5,000 off. It expires September 1st. I know. It's a great promotion. And Susan, I'm throwing you a curveball here, and everybody watching and everybody watching in the future.
Love curveballs. I love baseball.
If you book Susan's Tahiti cruise within the next 2 weeks, I'm also going to throw in an additional $500 savings.
Woo!
It'll be $5,500 and a $200 shipboard credit.
All right.
Yes.
That's so awesome. There we go. There's my massage.
There's your massage.
I love that. That's awesome. Thank you. That's so
want to do an upgraded bottle of wine, you could do that. We do include tons of wines. We do have sommeliers on board, but if you want something specific, like a 1998 Dom Perignon, you can use that shipboard credit to do that. If you want to do our specialty dining, that shipboard credit could be available for that. So this is only for Susan's clients. Nobody else getting that extra $500.
I keep telling my family that.
It only goes in Susan. It's only for your group. Only for
I love it.
Susan. Only for Susan's customers. If you book her Tahiti group, Susan and I have been working really hard on this Tahiti group.
Yeah.
You get $5,500 off.
That's amazing.
$5,500. It expires September 1st, the promotion. This is only for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks only. And you know what? Another thing, Susan, that I also want to emphasize, if you have cruised before with Royal Caribbean or Celebrity, we do a status match.
Oh, yeah. I saw that before. I saw that with Celebrity, with somebody.
The only major cruise line that does recognition all across. So we do, so if you have loyalty with Royal Caribbean or Celebrity and all of these, after 100 days, if you, for example, if you are select with Celebrity, they'll give you 100 days here, which is equivalent to 5% off. So this is something, this is something
that's great.
I had a guest that all he did was cruise Celebrity because he wanted that, premium brand. Right. And this converted him over to Silversea because he said, hey, I'm almost zenith. I have, a 10% savings. This is going to, allow me to cruise on Silversea.
Totally. That's amazing.
Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's an amazing family of brands that we have. We're the only one tier 1-to-1 across all brands. Yeah. And this also goes, if you want to cruise, if you want to try with your family, it goes to all brands. So that's each awesome. Yes. And it's very easy to enroll. If you have the Celebrity app or the Royal Caribbean app, you can enroll there. And then in about 3 days, you'll get an email with your Venetian Society number and the tier corresponding to you. So this is extra savings. If you have done it in the past, it's extra savings that you have in your back pocket.
I love it.
And with that, it comes to an end.
You're amazing. Well, I love that. That's so great. Thank you so much. I just wish we were going right now. And this has been so helpful and informative. What I'm going to do for everyone is I'm going to go Save this. I'll repost it. I'm also going to put the link for the website for the cruise, and then also the promotion we have right now with the date that we're going to end it. So you guys, hey, if you're thinking about it, you can contact us. We're happy to give you a free quote on it. Make sure that you guys have an idea of the price on a cruise. Don't miss out, because like she said, it's going to fill up. It's going to sell out. And you're going to get this great promotion right now that you're not going to get. It's all going to go away. So we get that often when people go, hey, what about? And I'm like, we have deadlines for a reason. So
yes, exactly. And
we like you. It's not us. It's not us.
We want to do it. That's why Susan and I, we wanted to do this early, so we have enough time to, because it does fill up. That's why we added more, we extended it, because after August, it was supposed to end. But because of the popularity of Tahiti and people booking, we extended it till October of 26. It was supposed to be until August.
Yeah,
so we
I love it.
Extended it. It's amazing. It's amazing. And
it's
honestly, Susan is the absolute best. She's one of the best partners I've worked with. She cares about her clients. Like, it's amazing. She's one of the best partners I've had here at Silversea. So if you call Susan within the next 2 weeks, adding an additional savings plus onboard credit.
You're amazing. Well, hey, happy Friday. You are so kind. I know it's almost the end of workday for you. So it's the middle of our lunchtime right now. So nothing like West Coast.
I love it. I love it.
I know. Hey, have a great weekend. Thank you again. And thank you everyone who watched. And we'll go from there. I'll go save this and I will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.